I believe that gray line coming down to the brown line there at Interstate 40.
Yes.
I believe that's going to be Parker's Crossroads, which is an exit several people are familiar with on the interstate, and you take that on down into the city of Lexington if you're going up I-40. It's one way to get there. But anyway, just to the north of that, looks like along that road, there is that's where the possibility of another tornado is. The storm again is going to be moving, and notice no cities popped up when we put the track on there. That indicates it's going to be moving over mostly rural areas for the next little while. Tim, I have an unconfirmed report from Jackson. We've been getting several reports from there, and this report says there has been considerable damage to one of the state office buildings in Jackson, Tennessee. Again, that is unconfirmed information, but we are almost certain, just by looking at the radar, that there has been a tornado move through parts of metropolitan Jackson this evening. We are trying to get some more official word, but there was also information that some of the law enforcement agencies may have been directly affected by this. And of course, as I pointed out earlier this evening, anytime you have this sort of situation, emergency people are very, very busy trying to help people and really don't have a lot of time to give us information until a little bit later on. We certainly understand that and know that you do too. We'll try to get the best information we can for you and pass it along to you. Tim, you got something else there?
Just looking at wind speeds once again, Dave, over this entire area, and they're still holding together at speeds at between 40 and maybe up to 70 miles an hour in some of these gusts. We're seeing maybe some microbursts or some very strong downdrafts in some of these thunderstorms. In fact, those cloud tops that we looked at earlier still holding together, some very tall clouds, 50,000 footers, 45,000 feet. And even back still over Madison County, just west of Bemis, we're seeing those 45,000 foot thunderstorms passing through, containing lots of lightning, the potential for hail, some very strong winds. We look at, again, that product where we take a look at for the potential for some rotation. And I want to go back, not only do we see this here, but I want to go back over southwestern Madison County and take a look. And it looks like that one little area is not quite as pronounced as it was. We still see some light gate-to-gate shear. No shear markers near that, which is good news. But again, we're still going to keep an eye on the area west of Bemis until that area is completely clear.
Tim, that's also in an area. Could you go back to that just for a second?
Yes, I can.
And I want to point out that that is also very close to that area of purple. That's what on Doppler radar is called the purple haze. Obviously, it was named by some meteorologist who was a huge Jimi Hendrix fan.
Yes.
But when you see the purple there, that's an area where you're not necessarily totally sure exactly what you're looking at is exactly what you get. So that is a possibility. So close it's adjacent to the purple haze. On the other hand, the one that is around Bemis and Jackson there, we've been following that for some time, and we want to watch that one very, very carefully as it continues to move. We believe that already one cell that probably produced a tornado has moved through the Jackson metropolitan area a little bit earlier, and we want to make sure that these other cells, as they move through, don't produce another one. The tornado warning for Madison County has expired now. It's 12:03 a.m., 3 minutes after midnight, but the tornado warning for Madison and Haywood counties has expired. You are no longer under the warning, but we're certainly being very, very cautious until all these cells move through Madison County. Henry County, you are technically under a tornado warning until 12:15. We showed you a little bit earlier there is a cell there which possibly was producing a tornado until 12:15. Carroll County, that's a cell that we've been watching and tracking for you over the last few minutes too. Henderson County, tornado warning until 12:30, but Tim just put a track on that for you a few moments ago, and the indications are that that cell, if it's holding together, will probably be moving across mostly rural areas for the next little while still. Everyone in the area of Henderson County needs to be alert for the next few minutes that there is still heavy weather in the area. Quick information for many of you who have been with us throughout the evening, but Dyer County, Tennessee, including the city of Dyersburg, have been hard hit tonight, at least one fatality. There have been several injuries. There's been quite a bit of damage, some of it structural across Dyer County. There's been some damage, mostly trees and power lines, but there may have been other damage too in Tipton County. And Jackson and Madison County, we believe, have likely been hit by a tornado just in the last few minutes. We were tracking that as it moved across the southern part of the city of Jackson and the downtown area of Jackson, Tennessee. We were talking about the downtown area a couple of times, and now we do have an unofficial report that one of the state office buildings in that area has been hit. So it has been a night of very severe weather across parts of the Mid-South tonight. Tim, could we zoom out just for a moment?
Yes, sir.
I want to show one thing. Northern Mississippi, from about, I would say Marion to Forest City, Arkansas southward. There has been very little activity tonight. That's fine for tonight, but again, this situation is going to be volatile again probably tomorrow. As these storms move through, they set up something called outflow boundaries. It's not a true cold front, but the cold air from the storms will set up. And where the storms end tonight, there's a very real possibility they could refire tomorrow. Not to be alarmist here at TV5, we certainly don't want to do that. I just want you to be aware that there is the possibility that in the areas, especially in the south part of the viewing area tomorrow, we would be concerned that some of these little outflow boundaries that have set up could refire during the day and again kick off some big thunderstorms. Would it be a repeat of tonight? There's no way to know. We certainly hope not. But there is a possibility that with all the moisture coming up here, the very warm, humid air coming up, and with the cool air that has flowed out of these thunderstorms tonight, those two don't mix well at all.
And that's what's made it so tricky, is that the cold front is still so far back to the west that we're going to continue to see these southerly winds at least for the next day or two. So this pattern could continue for the next 24, maybe even 48 hours. And if we get a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, which may happen through some of the clouds, maybe some pockets of instability, which could enhance maybe some isolated strong thunderstorms tomorrow. But again, this is just speculation on what could happen tomorrow after seeing what we've seen tonight.